Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way today for your Manchester United versus Watford match preview, coming off a extremely disappointing defeat against Crystal Palace. Very briefly before we bring in our two guests today, it was such a disappointing game. Really poor performance from Watford, poor tactics from Roy as per usual. We expect that with Roy now. Negative tactics. He sets us up negatively. Doesn't allow the players to play any progressive passes. And Crystal Palace deserved to win the game. Wilfried Zaha scored 2 goals, which just summed up our evening. And to be honest, that for me is, the end of, my hopes of getting out of the relegation battle. I do think Watford will get relegated now, unfortunately. However, I'm just going to try and enjoy the rest of the season. If we do stay up by a miracle, then fantastic. But if not, I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of the season. And we're going to start today by talking about the big game against Manchester United away at Old Trafford. Last time we played Manchester United, we beat them 4-1 at Vicarage Road. And one man I know was definitely there, and he goes by the name of Brendan. Brendan, you was at the match against Manchester United. Firstly, how are you doing? And what's your memories of that previous game against Manchester United?
Yeah, thanks for having me again, guys. Well, you mentioned there, I was at Vicarage Road for the first time after 2 years, COVID situations and things like that. I am a follower there on Vicarage Road where we take the win 4-1. What a day. What a first half we have seen. Well, Donny van de Beek scores, so for Dutchmen, it feels a bit hurt when it was a 2-1, of course. But at the end, well, it's lovely to see scoring him. But yeah, to be honest with you, what a day it was, what a night it was, under the lights. Atmosphere was electric, as we say. So yeah, what a lovely night. And we go into the pub afterwards, of course, and drink one beer. Not too much, guys. Be careful with alcohol. But yeah, to be honest, what a lovely night was that.
Superb, Brendan. And another man who was at the game against Manchester United, where we beat them 4-1, was Callum. So, Callum, you was at the game against Manchester United. As Brendan said there, it's an electric atmosphere. Going back to the game, what's your memories from the game, and do you think Watford can ultimately replicate that performance at Old Trafford? Because for me personally, I think that's going to be a really difficult task.
Well, first, it's good to be back on the channel. First, good to be speaking to you two again. And what an amazing night it was. 4-1. It was a completely underdog story. It was we came into the match completely as underdogs. I mean, there was Ronaldo on the pitch. There was some huge stars, superstars that were on the pitch for Manchester United predominantly, and we completely outshone them. And granted, it was under the reign of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously, he went after the game because obviously that result caused him to be sacked. But it was just an electric night. The atmosphere around Vicarage Road, I've not seen much like it. Actually, I don't think I've seen anything like it from every single game I've gone to at the Vic. And
I agree.
Yeah, 4-1.
From my perspective, in terms of atmospheres at Vicarage Road, I don't know about you, but since I've been going to watch Watford, I'd say it's up there in like the top 3, games I've been to at Vicarage Road. It was so good.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, our players, they were all fired up. I mean, I'm so sad though, because we just can't have that same firepower like what we did for Man United for the rest of the season now, because obviously we're under the reign of a new manager and things are just not going the way we want it to at the moment. So, yeah, it's a night that will go down our history for sure. I mean, if it can be replicated again this season, I'll be more than happy with that. But with the form that we're going for at the moment, I mean, being beat 4-1 yesterday, it's not looking too hopeful.
Well, exactly. You got beat 4-1 yesterday by Crystal Palace, and it would be such a Watford thing to do, to lose to Crystal Palace 4-1 and then go to Old Trafford and win against Manchester United. Very unlikely, but with Brendan's positivity, it definitely is possible. We'll get his score prediction at the end of the stream as per usual. But looking ahead to the game, Manchester United under Ralph Rangnick, obviously, he come in after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked. Solskjaer's last game, as Callum mentioned, was the 4-1 defeat at Vicarage Road. And I thought that day, Watford were absolutely superb. Yes, Manchester United were really poor. They had Ronaldo on the pitch, Van de Beek, De Gea, Harry Maguire, fantastic players, and they're all walking straight into our team. But, on our day, I think Watford can beat anyone in the league. However, this season, we've not been on our day enough. Talking about the Crystal Palace defeat briefly, Brendan. Obviously, we did score a goal through Musa Sissoko. It's frustrating because at that point, we got back to 1-1 in the game, and I was starting to get positive again. I was thinking about beating Aston Villa, and Sissoko got the crowd riled up, and it was all looking good. And then defensively, Brendan, again, we concede such sloppy goals, and coming up against Manchester United's attack on Saturday, Ronaldo, Rashford, Elanga, Jadon Sancho, it's going to be a really, really tough test to keep a clean sheet, isn't it, Brendan?
Yeah, it will be tough, like always this season. But to be honest with you, James, going to the Crystal Palace game, when we came back from that 1-0 down, I thought, wow, this is quick. This is quite quick to come back from a goal behind. And I thought, okay, why we don't take this into half time and we can build on in the second half. And then in the end of the first half, they score. So that's a bit annoying, of course. But as you said, they have big players up in front at Manchester United. And I think the one where we need to worry about is Elanga. What a player. I saw him for, I think it was the FA Cup tie where I saw him for the first time. I thought that this one will be a big one. He
scored last night against Atletico Madrid, Brendan, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And a fantastic goal as well in the Champions League, in the top tier of European football. So yeah, he's a great player, and I think he will be the one. If he smash down at Old Trafford, he will be the one to do it. And Cristiano Ronaldo is not in his best run of form last games, but he scores again against who was it at home? Southampton, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he scored that one. So he's got a bit of Brighton. Have to be Brighton. Sorry about that, but. He scores a goal. They win against Leeds last time out. So, yeah, we have to be careful for that up in front. As you have talked about Bruno, mate. Bruno Fernandes is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking about Manchester United's attacking threat there, Callum. Defensively, I do think Watford are going to struggle. Yes, we did keep a clean sheet against Burnley. We kept one against Aston Villa, but apart from that, still we do look, I think Crystal Palace showed that we still look very, very shaky defensively. Wilfried Zaha, had quite an easy job, to be honest, yesterday. He scored two goals, two goals that, were very, very easy for him. And as Brendan there mentioned, Callum, coming up against that attack, I do think the defence are in for a really, really tough job on Saturday. I just really want to discuss Roy's tactics with you, Callum, before we move on. I do think he sets up very, very negatively, especially after we scored the goal yesterday. We did have a 10-15 minute spell where Watford were dominant, but the second half especially, I mean, Roy Hodgson said he was happy with a large period of the second half. I totally disagree. I thought Roy Hodgson, he's obviously instructing the players to not play progressive passes, because I don't know what the solution is, Callum. I don't know if you can offer any insight into potentially what Roy's trying to do, but I think the football he's playing, I'd rather, have kept Ranieri. I'd rather have kept Xisco, because it's not an improvement on the football we played under them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I knew the solution, I'd tell you guys in a heartbeat. But yeah, I think right now we just expect Roy to play so negatively, because we've seen it so many games consistently over this season and under his reign. With Ranieri and Xisco, they weren't afraid to switch things up, playing a 4-3-3, playing more attacking football and utilising our attacking options to the maximum. But that is just not what it's like with Roy Hodgson. And to be fair, with experience as England manager and stuff like that, that's what you got to expect. He's used to playing two DMs and keeping the defence quite at bay, so it's quite solidified. But yeah, I mean, we have players like Dennis and Hal Pedro, who Dennis has managed to score like 5. I don't know how many goals he scored this season. He scored way more than Zaha. But Zaha
scored 9 goals this season, Emmanuel Dennis.
9 goals, that is crazy. I think that's better than Ronaldo, who we're actually playing against on Saturday. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he has the talent. He absolutely has the talent, but he's just not being utilised in the right way, like he was under Ranieri, where he got the goals. So it's a real shame. It's a real shame. I mean, even playing negatively, our defence looked shoddy yesterday. I mean, Samir, I thought, was horrific last night. He just didn't win any aerial duels. Oh, sorry about that. My voice is going a bit mental. Sorry. Right, yeah. So I got loads of it. Didn't win many interceptions. He was just so poor. It was just completely out of his depth, I thought, in that game, which is quite weird because he had quite a good partnership under Cathcart for against teams like West Ham and all those games beforehand. I feel like he was somewhat solid with Cathcart, but yeah, he just fell off and completely crumbled yesterday. I don't really know where we go from here. I think I've already accepted as well that Watford have been relegated. I just can't see us getting out of it now. We've got Newcastle, who are above us, who are seemingly winning now, which is annoying. Burnley as well, they've just gone above us as well. They managed to win against Spurs last night. Huge result for them in their bid for safety. It just couldn't have gone any worse last night for Watford. And hit back down to reality. It's going to look like a tough season now for us.
Yeah, absolutely agree, Callum. As I said earlier, I've resigned myself to relegation to the Championship now. Really, it's just looking, really, really bleak for us. And to be honest, I can't really see a way out. Callum mentioned there, Burnley getting that crucial win against Tottenham, which was a surprise to me. Antonio Conte, by the way, I thought was very, very strange after the game. He was basically asked to be sacked by Daniel Levy at Tottenham, which I thought was very, very odd by Antonio Conte, but that's the type of character he is. But forget about Tottenham. We're here to talk, of course, about Watford. Brendan, in terms of the team you would play against Manchester United, would you, try and replicate the 4-1 win we had earlier in the season? Is there anyone who's been playing lately you'd drop? I know Joshua King went off with, I think, quite a potentially serious injury, last night as well. Would you maybe, João Pedro's fit, put João Pedro in where Joshua King is, or would you keep it largely the same? Because I can't think of any players who can come off the bench who can really make a real impact, because our squad is so weak compared to some Premier League teams. It's difficult to really rotate when you don't have the quality, Brendan.
Well, if you come start João Pedro, it will be lovely. But as you said, we have not that big squad numbers to relate and to change the starting 11 a lot. So I think we will start exactly the same instead of Josh King then, like the game against Crystal Palace, and it will be a tough one for us again against United. And well, I think to say that we have a bit of hope when we won against Aston Villa away from home, isn't it? A good result, and then you got 4 goals against you against Crystal Palace. Come on. So I keep my heart in my hand. I don't know if you say it like that, but I'm so afraid for the Man United game away from home. So I don't know what to do with the starting lineup, but just going out and play João Pedro if possible, of course.
I think Adam actually sums up what I would say perfectly here, and he said, "Why is Roy Hodgson starting Tom Cleverley? He offers nothing in the midfield. Same with Joshua King." Tom Cleverley yesterday was very, very, very poor. I don't know how old Tom Cleverley is now. He must be 31, 32 years old. But yesterday, he really did look off the pace. I'm surprised he didn't come off at half-time, to be honest. He was that bad. I think he made it to about the 60th minute mark. But in terms of Tom Cleverley, Brendan, briefly coming back to you again, I don't think he should be starting it in the midfield now. I think it should be Sissoko, Kayembe and Imran Louza. So, Brendan, would you potentially look to drop Tom Cleverley? Because I really don't think he's adding anything to the team at the moment.
Well, Adam is mentioning there as well. I should say, such a Shaw on the left with Dennis in the central striker position, and then Kayembe instead of Cleverley. I completely agree with that. As you said, Clef is get maybe a bit too old for Premier League football. You can have him in the Championship, no problem for him. But for Premier League football, you can't walk around on the pitch like that. And as you said, you have to be benched after half time. But the other thing is, I think Roy Hodgson will stick with him because they knew each other, of course. So that is a bit of a thing in the squad as well, that Roy Hodgson have. He got some players he will stick with them because he knows them from former football clubs or country or something like that, So I'm afraid he will keep him on the pitch.
Yeah, Callum, you watched the full game yesterday and you must have seen Tom Cleverley's performance. I don't know how it came across on TV, but watching him in the stadium, he always looked a yard off the pace. Loads and loads of misplaced passes, shots attempted from ridiculous situations. Do you think Tom Cleverley should start the next game, Callum? Because as Brendan said, us two particularly, I think he was really, really poor yesterday.
Yeah, completely agree. Dreadful. I feel like he was completely off the pace yesterday, and I feel like that midfield three that you just suggested there is probably the midfield three we have to go with this season, or for the rest of the season, because I feel like it's our strongest midfield. I mean, Tom Cleverley, he impressed me for games like Aston Villa. He was immense against Aston Villa, but hit straight back down to reality against Crystal Palace. So he just simply can't start against a team who are battling for top four and are as big as Manchester United, because if that's the way he played against Crystal Palace last night, we're going to get absolutely dominated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very worried. I mean, looking at the past couple of home games, I mean, we've conceded 3 goals to Norwich. Was it 2 goals to Brighton? 4 goals to Crystal Palace. It's just not good enough. And to be honest, Brendan, I was talking to one of my mates on Instagram earlier, and we were just talking about the Championship and how excited we are for the Championship. Have you resigned yourself now to Championship football, Brendan? Because I think Watford are going to have to win, another 5 or 6 games to secure safety, and there's 13, 14 games left. Can you really see Watford winning 6 games, Brendan? Because I personally can't see that happening at all, especially considering we've got United at the weekend, we've got Arsenal next week, we've still got to play Liverpool and City away. I just can't see us putting together that run of form, Brendan, really.
Well, realistic. From a realistic if you to get realistic, okay, it's not possible anymore. We go into Championship, we have to take that, but it's not over until the fat ladies blows, they say always. So you have to be a bit of hope, guys, a bit of hope, not so much, because probably we will go down. That's where we need to go now. We have to be aware for going down. The Putzos have to be aware for going down. We have to be a plan A for going down and a plan B for staying up. Not a plan A for staying up and plan B for going down. No, just turning around. The mind will be in Championship mode right now. We have to sell players. We have to keep some players. But the most important is that we will get the money. We stay with the money in our club, and we have to be healthy, financial ways, because we don't want a Derby County or something like that.
I agree, Brennan. I'm sure Callum will have something to say on this as well. We do criticise the Pozzos a lot on this channel, and rightly so. We criticise the managers, rightly so, and we criticise the players, and rightly so in that regard as well. But as Brendan says, we are in the Premier League. We're a Premier League club at the moment. It can get much worse than this. As Brendan said, we can become a Bury, a Derby County, where we're struggling. The club might get out of business. The players aren't getting paid their wages. The stadium's not owned by the club. It can get very, very messy. And thankfully, Watford aren't in that situation. We do have very, very valuable assets in terms of our players. João Pedro, Sarr, Dennis. They're worth a lot of money, and that will secure the financial future of Watford. But Callum, I said to Brendan there, does he believe we will stay up? He has a little bit of hope left. I do have a little bit, and I'm talking a very, very little bit. But Callum, do you believe Watford can stay up? Because it's looking very, very difficult to do that now, especially after Burnley won yesterday, and obviously us losing to Crystal Palace as well.
I have shreds of hope. I mean, little bits of hope. I mean, I'm not Mr. Positive. I'm not Brendan. So, I'm on my last bit of hope that we can stay up, because we're just looking so poor compared to everyone else in the bottom 6, and confirming that we're 19th now, and Burnley and Newcastle are looking to be on the up now. It's not looking good. It really isn't looking good. And like you said there, I mean, I feel like, we need like a multitude of plans if we do go down to the Championship, and we need to start looking towards that now, because if anything, I was having a conversation with a guy on Instagram yesterday, and he said that it's actually kind of good that we're going down to the Championship, because that means we can now actually rebuild our squad, and we can actually take the time now to focus on having a fresh restart, because I was pretty distraught last night. If anyone couldn't tell from my Instagram, and I was just like, sure, it was hitting the moment stuff. I was saying stuff like factory reset everything. I'm done with this club. I don't say I'm done with this club, but I was just like, I was very upset for that way. I was just like, I said like I'll say all of this today, but then the next match day I'll be back supporting the boys wholeheartedly because I just love this club too much for anything bad to happen to it. Like you just said there, with like the Derby County situation, if we're in such financial bother. But yeah, it's like I love this club too much, to let it go down this far, like below the bar, and it's just so sad to see that we're in a state like this. So I feel like if we can, take that time to rebuild in the Championship. I mean, I'm going to try and keep it as positive as possible, but I can't actually. I don't think we're going to stay. We're going to move straight back up to the Premier League. I reckon we're going to stay in the Championship for one more season because we're just going to have to take that time to rebuild. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we go back up to the Premier League. But then again, I have fears that if we do that, we're going to become a yo-yo club. We're going to go back down and back up, back down and back up, and that's my only worry. If we do that, then we're just going to show no consistency. And yeah, that's basically all I've got to say on that.
You're gonna like Norwich City then.
What's that?
Yeah,
Brandon?
basically.
Yeah, you are the new Norwich City then. If you go up, down, up, down, yes,
And that's what I fear we're going to turn into. I really do, because we have time to rebuild. I mean, sure, there's selling Sarr and Dennis, who will undoubtedly go in the Championship, or if we go down to the Championship. So that will secure us a lot of money. It's just all down to how Pozzo and Duxbury, use that money, because. I mean, I want to point out something that's been put in the chat by Melanie. She put, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, what's happened with Kalu? What the hell's the point of that signing? Genuinely, what is going on there? He's not got a single minute for Watford yet. Not even put on a Watford shirt for us. So, I'll be talking about, we have an array of attacking options. Of course, not being utilised well by Roy Hodgson because he plays so negatively. But if a person like Josh King is playing well at the moment, and sure, if he has that injury, we can't do much about that. But switch up. Use someone like Ashley Fletcher, who, sure, he isn't Premier League quality. I don't think anyway. But we have a person like Kalu. We can just move Dennis up to striker, play or even on the wings, and then we can place on a striker maybe like Cucho or Hal Pedro, and then play Kalu on the left, as that's where his preferred position is. Like, we need to start utilising players. We don't have the biggest squad depth, but utilise the players that we bought. We bought him for not the biggest amount of money, but he's one of our signings. So why are we not utilising him yet?
No, literally just before this stream went out, Callum, actually, I did tweet on my personal Twitter account basically saying, the Samuel Kalu situation, sums up basically the issues that are at Watford. At the moment, we spent money on a player that the manager doesn't want, they just want to utilise. And then we spent that money, unnecessarily when we could have saved it, invested it into other areas of the squad. I think the issues are from top to bottom. You can blame the board. You can blame the manager and Roy Hodgson for the tactics he's implementing. And then obviously, you have to blame the players as well, because they are good players. They've got lots and lots of talent. They're professional footballers in the Premier League, and they're paid lots of money. So, the blame has to go onto them as well, regardless of what's happening, with the board or with the manager. A lot of the blame still has to go onto the players as well. Brendan, we're coming towards the end of the stream now. I do think we've been semi-positive. We've not been too negative. Although losing every week does get very, very frustrating. We're against Manchester United at Old Trafford. I can't remember the last time Watford won at Old Trafford, if ever. It's going to be a very, very tough game, Brendan. As we mentioned, Ronaldo's there, Rashford's there, Alanga's there, Bruno Fernandes is there. They have a fantastic squad, Brendan. However, you're a positive guy. You're always positive with your score predictions. You're getting your predictions, relatively right recently as well. Talking about the Musa Sissoko header. You got the Aston Villa score prediction right as well. So, Brendan, Old Trafford, Man United, what is your score prediction?
I go for a 1-1. Goal scorer at United will be Ronaldo. And goal scorer for Watford will be Dennis. One more time. Get a draw, 1-1 there. Yeah, probably everybody will be laughing to me, but yeah, get a positive result there. I think a draw out of Old Trafford will be lovely for Watford. Yeah, let's go for 1-1. That's all to say, mate.
Nice, Brendan. And Brendan, quickly before you go, obviously you run the Watford FC Netherlands Instagram page. Where can everyone find that, and where can they follow you?
Yeah, they can follow us on Watford FC the Netherlands on Instagram, hashtag WFCNL, where you can find all our posts, and follow us for most of the time match days, happy birthday wishes, pictures from people who are going to the match because we send them. So yeah, watch us and follow us on Instagram, please, guys.
Perfect. Make sure to go and follow Brendan. Callum, coming to you there. Brendan, as always, gives us that positivity that we crave. And, you know, Brendan's already made me feel like Watford are going to get something from the game. Callum, I'm hoping for something similar from you as well. Callum, your score prediction for Saturday?
Wait, what? Brendan, positivity? Never. I'm joking. Yeah, so I genuinely think I'm scared. I really am. I'm scared because the attack that Manchester United have is just scary. You got Ronaldo, one of the best players to ever live up front, and he's still got the physique of a 25-year-old. So he's just gonna. I reckon he's gonna tear us a new one, and I think we're gonna go. I'm sorry. I've tried to be positive. I really have. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Man United win. I'm sorry, I have to. It's just I can't instill it in me to go for a positive Watford result as much as I want to. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, I can't see it happening.
Well, Brendan, what do you have to say to that?
Well, it's realistic, isn't it?
Yes.
Can't say anymore. Come on, we can be positive, but yeah. Well, I go for 1-0 because you have not best bit of run and things like that. They play Champions League, tough night. But yeah, you know what they can do? They can blame us and they can win 3-1, as Callum says. So yeah, it's realistic.
It is realistic. Make sure to follow Callum on Instagram as well at the Hornets House. He provides you with match previews, match reactions, and obviously you can comment your thoughts on Callum's posts. So that is at the Hornets House on Instagram. In terms of the score prediction for me, I'm going to go with Brendan. I like Brendan's positivity. 1-1 is realistic because I think Manchester United do concede a lot of goals, so I do think it's realistic for us to get a draw out of the game. We've beat them this season already, so we can get a result against Manchester United. It's just whether the players can turn up or not. So I'm going to stick with a 1-1 Brendan has gone with. Very briefly before we go, we do just want to very briefly touch on the situation ongoing between Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, it's a very, very sad situation, and everyone here at the Watford Way, Brendan, Callum, and myself, wish all the best to the Ukrainian people and anyone who is suffering because of what's happening between Russia and Ukraine at the moment. And obviously, we hope everyone stays safe, and we do hope a resolution can be made as soon as possible. But that is the end of the stream. And hopefully Watford can beat Manchester United on Saturday. I'll be back to do a live watch along for the game. Brendan might pop in. I think Callum's going to pop in at half-time as well, which would be great to see. And hopefully I'll be celebrating some goals and hopefully celebrating a Watford win. So I'll see you on Saturday. And yeah, come on, you Hornets. Come on. Hopefully we can pick up the 3 points. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.